Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Old Fashioned Sports Show. It is Texas versus Arkansas week. It is rivalry week for those who were born in the 40s and the 50s, who remember these old school rivalries. My guys like Money B, and they're like, rivalry? What the hell are you talking about, right? Rodolfo, all my young bucks out there, they're like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. This is rivalry. But if this is a rivalry, Texas is going back. And at the very least, for those of you young bucks who are out there, 2021, it's time for revenge. You remember that. And that's all that's the most important. So let's go ahead. We're going to get into all of the topics versus Texas versus Arkansas for this week. I've got some good stuff for you. We'll talk injury reports, of course. We'll talk a little bit. Steve Sarkisian was on a conference call yesterday, and I've got some information from there. I actually have the call. I have the call that you'll be able to listen to that nobody else is privy to, but you will be privy to because you listen to the show. And then we'll have some other things. We'll have some Texas versus everybody as well that's in here. So let me go ahead and retweet this to all my followers, and then let's get this party started. For those of us who might be going to Fayetteville this weekend. I don't know if anybody's going to Fayetteville and hanging out, but I will be there. Leave it on tomorrow. Don't think about it though. I got security system. Don't get. And I got nosy neighbors. That's even better than my security system. I got some neighbors that are around. I should be nice because a lot of them listen to the show. But I got some neighbors that are around. So don't think about you going to come and jack Unc and hit him up. And if you do come, though, can you do my yard in the backyard, though? Because if you want to do anything, go and surprise me and do something with that backyard because that thing's horrific. All right. Good morning. Hey, who all's headed to Fayetteville? That's what Mark Anthony is asking this morning. Who all's headed to Fayetteville? Yours truly is headed up there. Hey, and look, I got the spot for you. I should have put it on the screen. Last time I was in Rogers. This place called Big Orange. Okay, Big Orange, good burgers, lots of really good food. It was an amazing burger that I had with a fantastic old fashioned. If you're looking for a spot, I get that there is absolutely going to do it for you. So make sure you check that. You saw that bacon. Look at that bacon right there. Woo, that's God's gift to America, ain't it? Having some bacon that's out there. So make sure you check it out, Mark, because that there is going to be fantastic. All right. Texas came out, and good morning to everybody who's here in the chat. Big said, Nosy Karen's the best security device of all time, man. You ain't lying. No lies told, Binks. They Unc was out in the burbs, so there's that. And hold on. Before I get the show started, for real? They are not going to go to a bowl game. Bo, I appreciate you, Bo. But y'all not going to be bowl eligible. You're going to get rolled by Alabama, and then you're going to get rolled by LSU. 5 wins. Talk about boomer sooner. Hey, I am glad you have decided to join the show of a playoff competing team. I'm glad you can get a glimpse of what your future can look like the moment you fire your head coach. The moment you fire your head coach, you might be in here at the big kids table. Right now, you're at the little kids table. Y'all go ahead and enjoy your off season in December. It's gonna be a lot of things for you to do. A lot of things for you to do in December. A lot of Christmas activities, a lot of Christmas shopping. All you Sooner fans will be able to do a lot. Spend time with your families in the holidays. Take that as a blessing. Go to church, midnight service, candlelight service, all that. All right, back to the winners. All right, so injury report came out yesterday. And so we, there's no real surprises from the top four people who are there, Derek Williams, CJ Baxter, Christian Clark, Velton Garner, are out. Maurice Blackwell and Colton Vasek are listed as doubtful. Doubtful means they're probably not going to play. So just get that out your mind. Those two guys are probably out and out of commission. From the Arkansas perspective, the most interesting thing out of all of them is that Taylor Green is going to play. He's probable. I was on a conference call with Coach Pittman yesterday, and he talked about it. And he said he hadn't practiced fully, all of last week. But he's participating. He's probable. He's ready to go. So that adds a little bit more of a dimension, a little bit more of a kind of a threat, I guess, for Texas. Because at the end of the day, Texas hasn't faced a ton of great quarterbacks this year, and I get it. I know as a Longhorn fan, you're not appreciating some of the conversations that are being had at this moment as relates to the Texas schedule, because you can only control what you can control, right? The thing is that what I would say about this as relates to Texas, people will say, basically people saying Texas faces scrubs. All right. At the end of the day, you got to make bad teams look bad, though. And at the end of the day, the way that Texas is beating down teams, you got to give them the credit that they deserve. So I'm not going to hold anything against Texas, even though maybe, again, I think if they lose, then it becomes a problem. Now, all of a sudden, that becomes a huge issue. You can't lose against Arkansas, right? But I do believe that, having Taylor Green back for Arkansas does give them a little bit more of an offensive threat, does give them a little bit more of an offensive dimension that they definitely do need. When he was healthy against Mississippi State, he had, 79 rushing yards, including a touchdown. So, when healthy, he's good to go for them. And then you have some other guys who are out, Selman Bridges. The main guy that you have to focus in on that's going to be out for them is, I believe it's Jalen Braxton. Braxton is kind of viewed as their best defensive back, but he's been out with a knee injury since week 2 when they played against Oklahoma State. So he's kind of the biggest guy. They've obviously moved on without him, but he's kind of their biggest notable out, and everybody else. And by the way, at the very bottom of this list, Jaquindon Jackson. Yes, that Jaquindon Jackson, who Longhorn fans may remember. Yes, he's probable as a running back. But yes, Jaquindon. Yes, that Jaquindon Jackson, who was once a Longhorn for about a season. He was about one season before he transferred over to Utah, and then he was a backup to Cam Rising, so he was out there. And then eventually he moved to running back. He's a running back over there at Arkansas, so he will be back in full force. So again, that'll be a blast for the past for those of you who do remember. Damn, Texas has had some guys who had to switch positions, haven't they? Jaquindon Jackson, Roshan Johnson. And again, Jackson didn't switch while I was here, but that's really interesting how that one has happened. So anyway, that's your current injury report. And so let's get into some other things here. Hold on one second. Wait, by the way, Money B asked me, did I win the bet against Opinion Sports Show? I'm about to. So the last time, Money, I basically already got the tiebreaker. I already have one of the other losses. All Oklahoma has to do is lose in one of the final 2 games, and I get a $50 Specs gift card from the Opinion Sports Show. Which means this will be the second year in a row that he's lost to me while betting against Texas. In a fight he chose, by the way, But we gonna drink on air and crying them in those student tears are gonna taste so good. And yes, Cotton, that's another young buck as well. Y'all did start recruiting real true QBs, and that does make a huge difference, right? So, but in any case, it's good to see you too, Cotton, and Sandman is in here as well. I don't know what Sandman's talking about in the chat. I'm just gonna let him be and do what he does. But I talked about this, though, the importance of it. I think this important stat. It's because it becomes relevant. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. It becomes relevant only if Texas loses. This will only become a relevant number if Texas loses. It'll be the thing that people use against them. That's why you can see how Georgia is able to fall a bunch of spots. Don't Texas just got to win out. Texas wins out, then we'll have a problem. Texas loses against Arkansas, all of a sudden, strength of schedule, problem. Okay. Texas right now doesn't have a win against a team currently ranked in the top 25. Okay. That was my stat. It's literally this is not mine, by the way. I should have asked my producer to make sure we gave the correct accreditation to it, because I don't want nobody to think I stole their stuff. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna find. I'm looking through my bookmarks on X. By the way, I see some people are saying there's a new thing. Was it called Blue Sky? That are people getting on Blue Sky now? Do I need to get on this platform? I tried Threads and that was sucked. And so I don't know if I've got the bandwidth to try a new platform, but y'all need to tell me if you guys are moving to it, then maybe I need to. His name was John Tweets Sports, came up with this. JON Tweets Sports. So I'm going to give him his proper due here. So that becomes the thing when we start talking about strength of schedule, so on and so forth. Texas wins out, it's not a problem. Texas loses, huge problem there. Okay. Okay, so that there's that. So here's a kind of a cool thing that we're gonna do. And appreciate all you guys that is in there. I don't even know what in the hell. What are y'all talking about in the chat? Now, I'm gonna take y'all down. I don't know what y'all are doing there. I don't have time. I gotta do a show. I have no time to figure out, but whatever y'all doing, I can't put all this on my screen right now. I don't know what y'all are doing. All right, so Sark addressed the media yesterday. Y'all are wild. Sark addressed the media yesterday in the SEC conference call. He will address the media through a Zoom call today. That's the thing that you'll see on the screen on the website today, right? But he did an SEC conference call yesterday, and I thought to myself, when you guys don't ever really get a chance to see this, and I think I'm allowed to show this, right? So if I don't do it, then you'll know why. I got to stop doing social media standouts, by the way. I keep getting a copyright strike like every single week on the channel. And so I can't continue doing that. Like, we're going to have to kill social media standouts. It's not a strike, but they just keep getting flagged. We got to take stuff off, blah, blah, blah. It's becoming too much of a hassle. So I got to figure out a better way for us to do a fun Friday. But Oscar said Craig has dementia. I don't know what y'all saying, but I can't do a show where you guys are just blasting stuff and I don't know what's going on, and it's distracting. So anyway, so we had this thing, and I'm gonna play you for you, give you a little behind the scenes action before we kind of break down a little bit more of Texas versus Arkansas. But this was Sark speaking yesterday on the conference call, and I want you guys to hear this.
Next will be Texas. The Longhorns will travel to Florida on Saturday at 11 o'clock.
I'm going to give you what nobody else does, baby.
And Coach, I'm sorry, I got the sorry, Coach. Arkansas, 11 o'clock Central, ABC.
Yeah, he kind of
Coach, while we wait on those questions, if you could take a moment to comment on your team as you enter this week's game at Arkansas.
Yeah, great opportunity to go on the road to restore historic rivalry here at the University of Texas, one that Texas and Arkansas have battled for a long, long time with some great teams, some great games, and for this rivalry to be restored. I know so much is made in college football right now about realignment, conference realignment, and teams losing rivalries. We picked up two great ones, this being the first year with Arkansas. So looking forward to the opportunity Saturday.
First up, we have Tom Murphy, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Steve, I'm wondering what your take is on the quarterback, Taylon Green, what dimensions he gives to them. And also, his backup, Malachi Singleton's gotten enough action that you probably could have a comment on him as well.
Yeah, I think Taylon is a fantastic talent. He's got, obviously has the size, the arm strength, the ability to run the football in quarterback-driven runs, the ability to buy time, make all the throws down the field. He covers a lot of ground. A lot of times you watch the tape and you're like, how did he cover so much ground? It doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but yet he is, at 6'6", 230 pounds. So, really, really good talent. Obviously, the backup is a little bit different build, more of kind of that stocky running back style, but yet still has the ability to do what they do. I think Coach Petrino's done a great job with both of them. And Coach Pittman, anytime you're averaging nearly 300 yards passing and 200 yards rushing, that's a pretty good offensive football team. And in their system, it definitely starts with the quarterback.
And last game, Arkansas gave up a bunch of passing yards and the deep ball. I'm wondering just what your thoughts are on taking on this defense.
Well, I think they're a talented defense. They've had 2 weeks to kind of get some things, shored up and cleaned up. I know we're going to get a great version of them defensively. So, they got really good coaches over there. So I don't think we can just assume that we're going to have that same luxury. We're going to have to play really good football offensively. We're going to need to be balanced. And that's a challenge because they're very good up front.
Next is Steve Moulton, WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well today, sir.
Thank you.
I heard you earlier on Monday mention about maybe not pivoting towards former players, talking because of the emotions that they have. How do you walk that line of who you want to talk to your team during a season, Coach?
I like to lean towards me. That's not to take anything away from anybody else. We've got some great people, some great speakers that we bring in throughout the summer, throughout training camp to speak to our team, and they do a fantastic job. But when the season rolls around, I think the consistent messaging throughout the fall is important, and that our players understand why we're talking about specific things on certain weeks. So generally, I'm the one that talks to our team from a motivational standpoint. Now, the players talk as well, so I give them that credit. But I do think that the messaging is important. But again, we rely on a lot of those outside speakers throughout the summer and throughout training camp to get ourselves ready for the season.
And something Sam mentioned earlier in the teleconference, Coach, was the energy in the building there in 21. Now, I know you were on the short end of the stick, but in terms of that rivalry in the building, did you feel that intensity as well back in 21 in Fayetteville, Coach?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was even a stick for us to get a short end of at night. We got our ass whooped, so hopefully we play better Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
Love that honesty. Love that honesty.
Next is Bob Hope, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Steve. I don't know if I've ever heard that saying before. That's a good one. Hey, Luke Haas, Arkansas's tight end. I think Texas offered him. I don't know if you remember recruiting him. I know you guys recruit a lot of big-time players, but number 9 for Arkansas tight end, just wonder what your take is on him.
Yeah, he's a guy that definitely, gets a lot of targets. I think, again, Coach Petrino does a great job of scheming and working to get people isolated one-on-one and opening zones. And he's a huge, product of that. Leads them in touchdown receptions. And he's a guy that, as a tight end, they move around and they create, he's really the primary on a lot of things that they do.
And then now, I know you're not all the way through the SEC schedule yet, but you're a good way through it. Just wondering what the grind has been like compared to what the reality of that's been like compared to maybe what the expectation was, how that's been for y'all.
Well, I think that we had a pretty good understanding coming in, that there was going to be a physical component to this, right? And how physical the game is in the SEC at the line of scrimmage. And this week's no different. You know, Arkansas is very good at the line of scrimmage. They have big people. They're built like a lot of the rest of the SEC is built. I think one of the bigger challenges in this conference is the mental intensity that you have to have week to week. There are no layups in this league. You know, you have to come ready to play week in and week out. And the moment you don't, you get beat. And there's been some really good teams in our league that have probably lost games that they're looking back and they're kicking themselves that maybe they weren't quite as ready to play. And so I think that's probably the bigger challenge, is getting our players every Monday in the right frame of mind to prepare the right way for the task at hand, part of which is, again, that physical nature at the line of scrimmage.
Hey, let me stop real quick. Hold on. Hey, Craig Bailey. Now listen, I'm a person that I enjoy having people who are from different fan bases watch the show, interact with our community, and we have no problems. But Craig, you're a little bit off the chain right now. And I don't want to do any. I'm going to give you an opportunity to rein it in just a little before I go ahead and I can ban you and I'll do all those things. But I'm going to give you opportunity to make your own choice. Craig, I'm just asking you to chill out just a little bit in the chats. I don't mind the interactions. I don't mind the trash talking sports, but you're a little bit off the chain. So just do me a favor, Craig. Chill out now. If you say something smart, then we're just going to have to go ahead and I got to do what I got to do. And then it is what it is. But Craig, I'm just asking you, chill. All right. Well, now, okay, Craig, okay, let's just go ahead. All right. Okay. All right, Craig. All right, we're gonna finish up the show. Craig got to show his ass, and all right, it's my damn show though. We're not gonna do all that shit though. Not this morning. All right, let's continue.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next is Kurt Bowles of the Houston Chronicle.
Steve, because Taylor Green's so big, are you bringing in Vince Young to run the scout team?
I'd love to. I don't know. BY's kind of busy right now, but yeah.
There's your Kurt Bowles reference.
You know, because he's such a threat to run, have a lot of Arkansas opponents, run zone coverage to, keep their eyes in the backfield so they're, not man-to-man running down the field away from him?
Well, I think everybody's, tried different things. Some successful, some not so successful, right? They don't average, 500 yards a game offensively, if people are shutting them down. And so I think like anything, to play good defense is one, you try to develop a plan that, you has a solid foundation and that you have the auxiliary calls off of that plan so that you're not just a sit and duck, sit and target, because, again, they've got great experience on their coaching staff with Coach Pittman and Coach Petrino. And so, I think varying looks is going to be key. I think putting ourselves in position to guard them because they do have plenty of weapons to throw the ball to. But yet, making sure that we try to contain him against not only the designed runs, but again, the off schedule runs. And so, like I said, it's a heck of a challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next is Anwar Richardson of Orange Bloods.
Anwar Richardson.
Good afternoon, Coach. Coach Quinn has played in a lot of obviously big games on the road with you guys throughout his career. Talk about from your perspective what you've seen from him when he goes in on the road. It seems like he's pretty unflappable. And is there a road game that kind of sticks out to you the most that you're really impressed with, whether it's for preparation or how he played?
Well, I think his general demeanor is helpful when you go on the road. Quinn is a very calm, cool customer. He doesn't get too emotional, too high, too low. It's pretty even keel. And I think that's important when you're on the road. I think that's important for us as a team. I think poise and composure is always critical when you're on the road. And he exemplifies that. And so that's helpful. I think probably the best one that I can recall is going into Tuscaloosa a year ago. I felt like he was really dialed in, and he was really just in a great frame of mind. And I think that permeated throughout the entire offense that night. We had no pre-snap penalties in a very tough environment, which tells me we were poised, we were composed, but we were focused. We had the right type of mental intensity needed in that environment. And that's what it's going to take here Saturday as well.
Hey, Benji, by the way, I know you're right. It was a long question. Can I tell you, though, why it was a long question? Because I've understood. You're going to see the difference. The thing about Sark is Sark, when he's listening to you ask a question, he's trying to figure out if you're going positive or negative with the question. And when it clicks in his brain where you're going, and he understands it, there's a flow with him. I've figured out a flow with Sark that I'm just talking, and all he's doing is processing, and then he's going to give me a really good answer. With Sark, as Sark thinks you're heading to a negative thing, and you're about to see it happen, I think with maybe the next person who comes about, then all of a sudden he's not feeling it. Okay. And I'm going to defend him in a second too, but that's why when Ben, I know you're like, Dan, it's a long question. There's actually a method to my madness as to how I ask it and why I ask it and why I explain it. So I just want you to understand. And by the way, Ben, you're cool, you're fam. So I'm not even jumping on you, but it's actually good because I want you now to see the difference. Now, in that, because watch what's going to happen here. And I think this is the next question. Hold on. This is a really good behind the scenes thing for you guys, I think.
Texas Chip Brown of Horns 24/7.
Yep. So check this out.
Hey, Steve, I know you mentioned you wanted to get the outside zone going, and what do you think it is that sort of held it back?
We're just not in sync, and like any style of running game that you have, timing and being in sync is really important, and confidence is really important. And so whether it's angles on blocks, whether it's run timing with the running back and the offensive line, whether it's vision by the runners, whether it's our combination of blocks on the front side, our combination of blocks on the back side, it just hasn't quite been in sync. And so, it's like anything, we've got to emphasize it more. We've got to put in the time and the effort, which I think that we're doing. And then we got to start to find our rhythm there again. And, I talked a lot about going into last week's game about finding our mojo as an offense, which I think that we did. And this week it's been about, okay, how do we get back to our timing and execution of our outside zone?
Because at some point, obviously, you're going to need to run it against 7 and 8 man boxes, and you've had the rotation at running back, and it's been a little different this year than in years past.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Well, that's how difficult has it been to have the rotation at running back and trying to sync everything up, and knowing that to kill the clock late in the game, you're going to have to run it against 7 and 8 man boxes.
Or we can throw it. I still don't know what you're asking me. But next question.
Coach, that's all your time, so thank you today.
Thank you.
We'll conclude today's call with Texas A&M's Mike Elko. The Aggies will host.
Well. Okay, so to Sark's defense on that one. To Sark's defense. So this is why, Ben, I thought what you pointed out, and that's why. So then when you're like, oh snap, well, why you asked a long thing? It's because here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you go to a negative kind of question, right? For a team that only has one loss and is ranked top 3, right? He's like, I already gave you like one answer. And now you're kind of digging a little bit more for some like negative stuff. So that's why I tell you, Like he's listening and he's trying to figure out, are you going with something that's cool or are you trying to come at me? And when he feels like you trying to come at him, he's like, all right, I ain't about that life. We're not doing this today. So to his defense, I actually get where he's coming from. Now, don't y'all run over to 24/7 and be like, hey, Armor was talking shit about you today on the show, Chip. Don't do that. Don't start it. Don't start it. We've had enough run-ins. I'm trying to live holy. trying to live for the Lord. Well, I'm probably not the person that you be a perfect example. So anyway, I just want to give you guys kind of a behind the scenes thing about that. It says, so the point of a long question is to blend a mean question into nice. No, it's a good, and by the way, Elgin Watermelon, which is, by the way, I know is a catch reference. It's more how you ask it is very important. And when you work a beat, right, it's like a relationship. At some point you understand, okay, this is how I can get something. And so with Sark, I feel like if you ask him something in a respectful manner and you're cool, like now sometimes he may just be like, I don't give a F, and it's fine. But overall, if you think about it and phrase it in a respectful manner, I think you usually get an answer. If you got an answer the first time, this is when you keep digging on it. I think that's when he's like, man, ain't gonna happen. So anyway, this is just 30 years in the business. That's all. I mean, just 30 years in the business of asking questions and figuring out how to ask them. And I think overall, it would be pretty good. And I think overall I get pretty good results. Another way for you guys to get good results as we transition in here is, of course, when it's time to buy or sell a home, my main man, Eric Sells Homes, DFW. You know who he is. I talk about him every day on the show. El Presidente himself. Check out the Google reviews. Check out the Yelp reviews. It's certified that it is. At the end of the year, to be saying like, man, I'm not necessarily thinking about buying a house right now, but next year, that's going to be on my list of things I want to do. Go ahead and start laying the groundwork right now. Don't wait. Go ahead and start laying the groundwork. He may have some deals for you right now. He may know a buyer right now. Like, you just never know. But here's what you know. If Unc co-signs on him, he's legit. Eric Sells Homes, DFW. Make sure you check him out. Check out that QR code. Let him know that your favorite Unc sent you. Eric Sells Homes, DFW. I'm reading the chats right now, and I did have to put old boy in a timeout. I didn't want to put Bailey in the timeout per se, but then I had to go through. It's kind of hard sometimes because I'm doing the show, so I'm really focusing on the screen. The chat's kind of to the other side of me, right? So I'm focused. I'm really looking at myself. To be quite honest with you, I'm like literally looking at myself the entire time, which is kind of weird. But I'm really looking at myself. And then every once in a while, I'll see the chats. And by the way, speaking of, shoot, there's super chats that came in too. Damn it. Let me go back up. I apologize. It came in during the Sark thing. I remember there's like 2 super chats that came in. I see you. Ruben had one, and there was another one that came in as well. Hold on. There was 2. Yep. Ruben had 2. Hold on. I want to make sure there was not 2. There was not Ruben had 2. And I apologize, Ruben. I'm going to get to you. High obesity? What are y'all talking about? Y'all, Sandman, what are you saying up there? All right, Ruben had a super chat that came in. In Atlanta, what if? Oh boy. If Army runs the table and BYU loses, wait, didn't you ask this yesterday? Okay, Ruben, didn't you ask this yesterday? I swear I answered this question yesterday, but I'm going to answer it again. In Atlanta, what if Army runs the table and BYU loses? Does Army snub a Big 12 champion? Can you imagine Army, Boise State, and SMU in the CFP? No. Okay, so Ruben, So the top four Power 4 conferences. There's not 5, right? Because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so the top 4 Power 5 conferences get in. They're all in the quarterfinals. Okay, the number 5 from the group of 5 spot goes into the number 12 spot. Okay, so Army, no matter what, if they went out, they go into the number 12 spot. Okay, I'll show it to you so you can get a good understanding of it, because I still should have it from the other day, right? So let me take this down for you, Ruben. So explain it. So as you can see, actually, let me go to the brackets. It'll be easier. I can show it to you a little bit easier that way, right? So no matter what, so you're gonna have the Big Ten conference winner. So that's Oregon. They're at number 1. This is projected, right? You've got Texas at number 2, so that's the projected spot, right? You've got BYU at number 3. That's Big 12. It's just crazy because all these teams are in new conferences. And then you've got the ACC champ. So that's your 4, Ruben. That's your 4 right there. So what you're really looking at is the number 12 spot. That's Boise State, right? So that's the group of 5. That's people who are outside of the top 4 conferences. And remember, the Pac-10 doesn't exist. It's the Pac-2, right? Pac-12 doesn't exist. It's just the Pac-2. So under that scenario, for the most part, Ruben, you're just all Army can do, if all goes well for them, probably get that 12 spot. That's the best they can do, and nothing else. And that's how it is. So hopefully that explains that, Ruben, to you. You had another super chat, so I want to make sure that we get this. Yeah, the odds of that. No, Ruben. Let me get you to your other one, though. Let me get you to your other one. The other one is if Texas wins out and the SEC is chalk, do they play Bama in the title game, or who wins the tiebreaker to play Texas? Hold on, wait a second. If Texas wins out and SEC is chalk, what does SEC is chalk mean? That must mean something. I just don't know what that means. Do they play Alabama in the title game, or who wins the tiebreaker to play Texas? Well, Texas wins out, they're in. Right? So the easiest scenario is if Texas wins out, they're in. Bama, you know what I'm going to do for you? Here's what I'm going to do for you, all of you guys. I'm going to give you something I'm going to put in the chat for you. Hold on one second. For all you guys who like to do the what if game, I got something for you. This will give you hours of fun. All right, hold on. Let me find this and put this in the chat. Hold on. Hopefully you guys can click on it. Do yourself a favor. You should be able to click on that. Now, that thing that I put in the chat is a generator. You can go through all your scenarios that you want to. And this thing will produce everything that you want to do. So go ahead and click on that, and then Sandman, you can enter all your scenarios. Someone's created this website that literally goes through all the SEC tiebreaker rules, so on and so forth, and it will be able to answer there. So just go from there. And all of y'all, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time to go through, to just bookmark that. And so you'll have that. All right. So I'm going to, and then by the way, we do have the Prize Pick show that's coming up in a little bit. Damn, I really wanted to do the SEC, Texas versus everybody SEC thing. It's going to be kind of tough. So let me go again. Let's just go to Specs.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs, no matter what you're needing.
User error. One more thing too. This weekend, if you are looking for a place to go and hang out, you would say to yourself, man, I want to watch the game. It's an early game, which means I got plenty of time to do whatever I want to do afterwards. There's a watch party at the TCH Social off of Anderson Mill, kind of up in the North Austin portion. Check this out. $1 draft beers, $2 jellyfish, right? So you're good. Mention Orange Blood. You get a $1 monthly membership. And here's the deal. It's basically just kind of like a sports book setup with a bunch of screens, lots of good food. I can't wait to check it out, to be quite honest with you. I'm looking forward to being able to do it. I got to be kid-free. But if you're looking for a spot to watch it amongst there, Chad Hastings will be there. Jason Sukumil. They'll be broadcasting live from the spot. Be having drinks. So go out there, check it out. $1 draft beers, $2 jellyfish. Unc is going to tell you, please, Uber, if you're going to take advantage of these great deals. Unc does not need to bail you out. I do not need, especially, I don't know. I think that's Wilco. Is that Wilco? I think it's close to Travis County. God forbid it's Wilco. Y'all already know what time it is. You do not need any problems in your life, so make sure you call it Uber. And go ahead and check that thing out as well. All right, so check this out. Tomorrow, there's another. Hold on, there's another super chat. Jose. All right, hold on. Jose's got another one. On war! 2 R's. Without giving away too much, out of the guys you're hearing that are portaling, what position groups looks good for UT to add from? I've heard. See, here's the deal, Jose. I've heard there's a couple of good receivers that are going to come on the market. I'll leave it at that. But you know what my trouble is, Jose, at this moment? You know what my problem is? I'll be honest with you. My problem is it's November. There's a couple of weeks left. You just don't know when it comes to these young people. You don't know if these programs are going to put some more money in front of them, like all kinds of stuff. So I'm a little hesitant because I hear like the rumors of stuff. I haven't heard about UT guys going into portal, but the UT guys who will go into portal will be look down the line of any kid who's probably not playing. Just that start there. And you're not going to have a starter. You're not going to have Arch Manning go in the portal, right? It's not going to be anything. Well, he's not a starter, but he technically has started games. It's always going to be the guys who are at the very end of the depth chart who you're going to say, oh wow, yeah, it makes sense. Go ahead and go. So what I would say, Jose, at this moment, I would just hold off on the portal conversation. Because I have heard about, again, I'm hearing about guys who are go in, but I need to see them. I think we're a couple of weeks away from guys making that concrete decision that I'm absolutely going to do it. It's just more speculation than anything else right now. So just hold off on that. But Jose, I would just tell you at this point, what I will tell you in general terms, unfortunately, I said unfortunately because I can't give you specifics as relates to super chats. Sark has been killing it in the portal. So whenever they're going to get who they're going to get, but they've been absolutely killing it. So do not worry about that portion. And then Hooked on Horns comes back with the 4 highest ranked conference championships get the bye. So it's possible for Army to get the bye. But they're not ranked high. The problem is Army, yes, you're correct. Yes, if they're outside, but the problem is they're not going to be ranked high. Army's, you're right in that portion of it, right? Hooked on Horns. Thank you for dropping your 20, right? The 4 highest ranked conference champions will get the bye week, right? Army's not going to be ranked in the top 4. So it's possible, but Army's not going to be ranked in the top 4. Like, that just be quite honest with you. And the highest ranked group of 5 champ would get the 12th seed if they were ranked outside of the top 12. And again, so I'll go back to where we're at. Let me go to my folder. By the way, Hooked on Horns, 100% correct, right? But where I am with it, Hooked, is Army is ranked 24th. Okay? So right now, Boise State is ranked 13th. So what I'm saying is Oregon's ranked first. That's, of course, so we got one conference covered. You've got Texas there. You've got Miami. So when you start looking at the people who were ranked, Army's not going to get in the top 12. Like Army would have to climb up over all these other teams that are in front of them. In theory, it could happen. The reality is it's not going to happen. That's it. That's what I'm saying, Hook. And then the Boise potentially, but again, they have to climb up again, and that I just don't see that happening. So could they potentially go into a top 12-ish and then maybe get the 5 spot potentially? That's probably more of a realistic thing. But Army, as specific to Army, ranked 24th in the country with what? 2 more games left for Army? Let me see. Army football schedule. They've got UTSA and they have Navy. Those are not those wins will not push them up into the top 4. I think is my point. Your point is great though, Hooked, and I do appreciate you say where you're at, but I think the Army thing, that portion of it is just not going to happen. So it's just not going to happen. Those wins against UTSA, which what is UTSA at this point? What is UTSA? What are the real runners? Let me see what the UTSA. I mean, they're not the UTSA of. Oh, so I just want to see what their record is. They're ranked 8th in their conference. They're 4-5, and they face Navy. You get what I'm saying? There's just not enough runway for them to make that happen. So that's where I'm at with every guys. That's what I'm saying. Boise has a better chance for this conversation than Army does when it's all said and done. Okay, guys. Appreciate you, though. Appreciate you dropping it in there, though. That's a good conversation. I like it. And by the way, Hooked, props to you for being very, very well informed. Props to you. I like it. All right. Make sure there's no more super chats that came in there. Y'all good. I will be here tomorrow. I was able, on my flight, I was able to move. I actually got a direct flight out tomorrow in the afternoon. Process American Airlines. Here's my new come up now. I book on American and I just wait for them to offer a upgrade to first class. Unc's on it. So when you see me there, I'm gonna be bougie tomorrow. I'm gonna be lit in the airport. But in any case, which means I'm gonna do my show in the morning. Before I fly out. So you guys will see me. You'll also see me in the next 10 minutes because we got the Prize Pick show that is coming up next. They already got some Texas Prize Picks that are in. So we're going to do our Prize Picks. We're going to do our predictions. And then, of course, House Divided at noon with Chad Hastings for sure holding it down. I don't know if Catch is back or not, but I know Chad, he's always a part of the show. All right, y'all. That's it. I hope y'all have a good afternoon. Remember, I always say do something special for yourself. Live each day like it's your last, because one day it will be. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to be back in 10 minutes. Y'all take care. It's going to be the intro for the outro.